Kenny here with Gardening Simplified. It's January 10th, and it's been a while since we've done a garden tour, so let's go take a look. Being we're in the workshop, let's just take a look and see what we've got here. We've started a lot of seeds. We did a seed starting video just recently, and we've done a few more. We'll start up at the top of the garden. We've got our beds in shape. Now I got a green flag over here on this, and that's to tell me I've got something planted up here. We dug our ginger up. Of course, we didn't do a video on that. We've got one in the past if you want to know about harvesting and replanting. But we harvested, and at the same time, we just had a little bit up here. But now we've took and harvested, and we put a whole lot of it back into the ground to extend our ginger. Now our herbs, we've just got a few herbs that's kind of hanging in there. Our lemon balm and our peppermint are still doing real good. We still lack, we've got to come over here and we've got to dig up this turmeric, and we'll put it in the ground, but that's still there. But you can see our peppermint here, it's doing fine even though we've had some cold weather. Now our lemon balm, it has got a little toasty on some leaves. You can see where they're browning at the edge of them. Now we got some really cold weather coming down into the teens here within the next week, and it will probably kill these back, but it won't kill them off. They'll be back to visit us, I'm sure. Now we harvested all our catnip, and we freeze dried it and got it in jars. We still got a lot of weeding to do on some of these beds. I tend to come in and I get the bigger ones, but I just need to get in here and get these onions all weeded. Now these onions are really doing good. But the cold, this cold depends on how much wind, because we have been having a lot of wind. It might decide to nip them back some. Now we've done harvested some of our broccoli. And for those of you that aren't familiar with broccoli, now they're going to shoot up more shoots here on the sides, and we'll just harvest them as they come along. But this cold weather might possibly kill these completely. We're probably going to come in here. We've got some heads. Now these are good little heads. We might come in here and harvest these all before that cold comes in. We've been taking a few that get a little bit larger. Maybe more like this size or a little bigger to the market, especially like this one here. But we're not letting them grow gigantic, because the temperature warming up and cooling down could affect them. They might start wanting to open their heads. But what we're going to do is we're going to harvest out probably pretty much all of this. Now I've been growing this Savoy Perfection cabbage this year. Now this head's getting a little bit of size on it, and I don't know what it tastes like. So we're going to probably harvest this so we can get a good sample of the flavor and know if it's something that we want to continue to grow. Now we come on down here. We've got more broccoli. We've got a few more Savoys. And then we've got this Mitchahili that's going to seed. Now, I mentioned I lost my last seed, so wherever it is, I got it, but it's just missing. The bees are loving this for their wintertime pollen gathering, so I should have some good seeds here. We've already got a lot of these down here are forming their pods, starting to get their seeds in them, so it won't be long. We'll go down here beside these peas, and we're going to go on the sunny side and make it easier. These are our Alaskan peas. They've had a pretty rough time. Now these can be harvested and taken. Just do them in a stir fry or eat them fresh, whichever way. Look like we got a little pollinator there, but we were planning to grow them up and let the peas get big, because they do have a good sized pea in them. But it's looking like, and I probably did go the wrong way, but it's looking like that these might bite the dust, because this really cold spell is going to do them in. So they don't look so pretty now because they've got cold quite a bit, that we've had down to just under 24 one night, so that's what we're looking at. Now we do on the other side over here, we have our Hilton cabbage. It's been getting quite a bit of shade in here because of these peas, and plus that low sun level, and they're spreading out more. They're not growing up like they normally do. So we might just I'm not planning to plant another batch until it warms up some. In our little greenhouse, which it's at mid 50s today, but and I opened this up because it was up to 94, but it's cooling down. It's down about 76 now. We've got some cilantro in here. We've got some of our Filterkraut cabbage in here, and we've got our celery. Now I've been harvesting a few leaves off it, but we've been taking some of this to the market. We didn't do it last year, but that's what we're going to do now, is start marking some of this fresh celery. And boy, the flavor is fantastic, and the smell is just so good when it's fresh like that. Now if we go back this way, we've got some, this is Bloomsdale spinach, and that in the middle is Noble Giant. And the Noble Giant is still pretty green. This here is been getting pale for a while. It doesn't like the cold. This is our other broccoli that's a couple of weeks behind that batch. It's just now getting head size to start harvesting here. We don't need to put too much into the freezer this year, so we might end up just taking all this to the market. Our cabbage is doing good. This is our young cabbage, the early Jersey, and our cauliflower up here is doing pretty good. I think that we might harvest some little heads in here because, like I say, that cold's going to get them, but they're just now, some of them's just now getting heads. Now I haven't been covering this, so it's not just snow white, but let me get the other way. You can see it's got a little bit of a yellow to it, but that's fine. It doesn't change the flavor at all. But we'll harvest some of those. Last week we picked a bunch of leaves off of our Lawsonata, or a dinosaur kale. What's happening is the freeze is getting them. The leaves are looking rough, so we didn't carry any in to the market. I took about a half a dozen for my smoothies that I make. Our Vulcan chard here it's hanging in there. It doesn't like the cold. Our radishes are almost gone, this batch here. Let's go down here and let's look at the carrots. But these beds, this is the time to get your garden in shape, and that's what we've been doing here. We've been rejuvenating a lot of the beds, adding new compost to the top. Now our carrots here are looking pretty good. They're really slow to grow in the cold. They are a little close, but there's enough of them spread out there. They should make a good crop for picking and thinning as we go. We'll go back around this way. Now our chives, they look rough. They're going to have to, I say I was going to pull them up. Now I've never had them fall back this much, but there's been a lot of ice nucleation in our weather from aerosol, so that might have been what killed these back. Or thyme down here, now some of it's little, but it's doing good. Everything seems to turn purple when it gets real cold. Over here, this was our asparagus. We chopped all it down and put some new compost. What I like to do is I take my chicken litter fertilizer, and I put down a layer of it, and then I put compost over the top. So by springtime, the microbes ought to have this stuff ready to go for the plants. And of course, plants, you might not see them up above, but they do do a lot of root growth in the winter, so that'll help them out. Now on this side, we still got a couple of beds needs cleaned, and it looks like they need some new compost, especially this one here. I'm sure that one does too. Our collards here are looking good. Now we did have to take a lot of damaged leaves off of these, but we did get a few bundles for the market this last week. I've got a good crop of volunteer garlic that's come back from my last year's garlic. Got plants all over, which is great. And then we come down here to our cabbage. Now we've been harvesting this out, and we'll probably take out a lot this week because anything below 20s, it really gets rough on it. And like I say, we're not covering anything this year, so we'll take out which ones are good, we think, for the market, and go from there. Our red cabbage, all I can do is hope that it pulls through. It's starting to form nice heads. Red cabbage takes so long to get to going, and you kind of hate to lose it. I might get that head because it's a little bigger, just so I can say I had some off this batch. But it's going to be a goner. Right here we have some cilantro that's seeding, going to coriander. We have our turnips here that we were picking greens from, and what we came in here and we thinned all the turnips out, so we just left the ones that's starting to bulb up, so we have some turnips themselves, and we figured we'd just take out about this much row. But this all looked like this, and we carried the rest of the chickens, and don't you know, they were happy. But we're going to take out the rest of this row, and then we have mustard right here. We have a few that's still pretty nice, but we've been feeding them to the chickens too. Now I do have a few beets left. I've been using these in my smoothies. They're doing good. I'll have to see. I might take some, maybe a bundle to the market. They're not many. Our golden beets, they're kind of small, but they're still hanging in there. We still got to do some cleaning up down here in our peppers. We haven't quite got that. Our apple tree's finally starting to lose its leaves. Now we have our pineapple in here, and we didn't cover it, and it got cold, and hopefully we've got it where it'll hang in there, but I don't know if we'll have pineapples yet. Well, we put that cover back on there, and our rutabagas over here aren't looking too good. Now we did get our bed ready for our strawberry plants to be moved, and we need to do this. I might wait until after this freeze comes through, but I've got plenty enough here once I separate them out to fill that bed up there. But like I say, I think these strawberries are better as far as they seem to be more resistant. They've kind of hung in there when everything else died. These rutabagas are looking pretty rough down here. We have been finding some ants that's been getting them, so that's kind of an issue, and we haven't been looking. There's a few bigger ones off in there that could be pulled and go to the market. This tree's finally losing its leaves too. The apples down here are the ones that I have seemed to want to hold their leaves for quite a while. We need to go ahead and finish this end. We've got 2 rows here that we still need to rejuvenate. We've redone all these. We just need to get our drip irrigation lines put back down in place. We tend to pull them there once we finish them. We forget to put the landscape staples, and of course the wind's been pretty rough here lately, and it's just kind of blown them around. Let's go look over here. We did see the carrots. This bed here is going to be the new strawberry bed. It's it gets in the hot summer, it gets the shade from the greenhouse, so it'll cut down some of that long day of sun. Now here, this is our echinacea, and it's pretty much gone, but the chamomile, as you can see, we have plants all over. Now I seeded this, just took the spent flowers and crumbled them into this area. This is where we had sunflowers past 2 years. Now we do have echinacea right here. I probably will remove that just so we kind of make it easier, a little easier for harvesting and stuff. And we've got our chamomiles coming down here, and this is on its own, but this is fine. I normally plant some little something in here, but I won't need to worry about it because I can take and let this chamomile grow up and fill this area here. This year, when our echinacea gets up and everything, we're going to go ahead and take it up, and we're going to process the roots and stuff so we can use them for medicinal. In the greenhouse, we have a wonderful batch of spinach here. It's really doing well. Now our cucumbers and our tomatoes are covered up. We've been harvesting just a few tomatoes. It's probably not near enough for the amount of area, but this was a trial. When I talked about seed starting, I wasn't starting early tomato plants like I did last time at the 1st January, because I already have full grown tomatoes in production. And we'll see how they do until the other ones get ready. But our deal's looking mighty rough. We planted another tray of it, so we'll get it out here in a little while. Now we've got our big propagations and some of our tender hardy herbs, and the avocado trees, they're all under here. And then we've got all our citrus that are on this side. We've almost harvested all the lemons on it, and we've harvested all the oranges, so we've got to wait a whole year for some more. Now we have a little more radicchio back here in the corner that I've taken out some today for the chickens. I'm not really a radicchio fan. Some of you might like it, and I do occasionally sell some for someone who wants to try something different, but it doesn't seem to be something that people ask for. Here's some more of our Filderkraut that's in here. It's doing pretty good, except the ones that the ants come in and decided to get. We got more bok choy coming on here. It's probably going to not get real big, and it'll start going to seed because it's just in such a big temperature fluctuation inside the greenhouse. Now we do have our next batch of musclin mix that's doing real well. We'll start harvesting that this week. And our parsley, we've been steadily harvesting it for a long while, so but it's really coming back. And this is our old musclin mix, and here's some onions that we need to get out, and hopefully we'll get it out before very many more curl up and die. But that's where we're sitting in here. Our bananas are inside the tent here. We've added a few more lights in there, hopefully keep the heat up when it gets to these real cold temperatures. But if we lose them, we lose them. I can't cry over all of that. But that's what it looks like here today in the garden. I guess we'd go over here and talk about a couple more rows. We have our turnips and mustard. Now these are real small and close to the ground, so they may survive, they may not. We'll just have to see how that goes. If they do survive, they're probably going to be kind of stunted and not want to grow, but we'll just wait on that and see what we see. But these onions over here are doing real well, all these rows. And then our garlic here, It shot up, got about so tall, and then it's kind of shut down. Now we do have to get in here and weed because it won't be much longer. We won't be able to, and they'll affect the plants. But this is our elephant garlic. That little row there are the red onions. And then we have these other two varieties of garlic that I'm not sure which is which, but they're not looking super excited, but they're hanging in there, so that's great. But as you can see, there is a lot of green in the garden right now. In a week's time or a little bit more, it might not look near like this. We'll just have to see. Like I say, don't cry about it. Just know that that's going to happen sometimes when you garden in the winter. Thanks for watching. If you're not a subscriber, you like this kind of content, well, of course, subscribe, hit that bell, select all so you'll get all the notifications. Give her a big thumbs up and share this video. Enjoy that winter and gardening time.